Cinderella. Once upon a time, there was a beautiful young girl whose mother died. She was always kind and thoughtful. She visited her mother's grave often and cried because she missed her very much. A short time later, the girl's father married again. His new wife had 2 daughters whom she brought with her. They were beautiful too, but their hearts were selfish and cruel. The new wife and her daughters hated the beautiful stepdaughter. They took away her pretty clothes and made her work as a maid. The poor girl had no place to sleep either. So she slept near the fireplace among the cinders. Her clothes were always dirty and dusty from the cinders. And so they called her Cinderella. The stepmother and stepsisters were very cruel to poor Cinderella. Cinderella would go to her mother's grave often to cry. There was a large tree planted near the grave. And on this tree was a little white bird who gave Cinderella everything she wished for. One day, the king announced a great festival that would last 3 days. Every girl in the village was invited. The young prince was going to find himself a bride. The stepsisters were busy looking for pretty dresses to wear.
Cinderella, clean our shoes. Cinderella, brush our hair. Cinderella, clean our hair ribbons. We're going to the festival to meet the prince,
they said to Cinderella. Poor Cinderella worked very hard for her stepsisters and stepmother. But her heart was sad because she really wanted to go too. So one day, she went to her stepmother and asked if she could go to the festival with them.
You, Cinderella? You can't come with us. You don't have anything to wear. Just look at you. You're covered in dirt.
Oh, please, may I come with you? I will clean myself up and find something to wear, said Cinderella.
We don't want to be seen with you, Cinderella. Besides, you have too much work to do at home. Here, I have made a list for you to do,
said the stepmother. Thinking that Cinderella could never finish all the work in time, she added,
If you get all the work done, perhaps you can come with us then.
Thank you, cried Cinderella, and off she went to do everything on the list. She worked very hard that day. and she had help from all her animal friends like the birds and squirrels. Cinderella finished everything on the list very quickly. So Cinderella went to her stepmother again, thinking that she could finally go to the festival with them. But the stepmother was not happy at all that Cinderella had finished all her work.
Cinderella, you may not come with us to the festival. We don't want to be seen with you. You have nothing to wear, and you look dirty. No, you can't come with us. That's final,
said the stepmother unkindly. Cinderella went outside to her mother's grave in tears. She was very sad. She looked up at the tree and said, "Shiver and shake, little tree, gold and silver shower on me." The little white bird threw down a beautiful dress made of silver and gold. Cinderella dressed quickly and went off to the festival. When the prince saw Cinderella, he wanted to dance with her only. Nobody knew who Cinderella was, not even her stepmother and stepsisters. Everybody thought Cinderella was a foreign princess. At the end of the evening, Cinderella wanted to go home before her stepmother and stepsisters did. But the prince did not want her to go. He asked her who she was, but she could not tell him. Cinderella was able to slip out when the prince wasn't looking and went home quickly. When her stepmother and stepsisters came home, they saw that Cinderella was sleeping by the fireplace in the cinders as she always did. The next day, Cinderella went to the tree again and said, "Shiver and shake, little tree, gold and silver shower on me." Then the little white bird threw down an even more beautiful dress. Cinderella went to the festival again. Again, she danced with the prince all night. And when it was time for her to go home, the prince tried very hard to keep her with him. But Cinderella was able to get away again and went home. The prince was determined to find out who Cinderella was. He wanted to marry her. He told his father that he had found his bride at last.
"When I see her again tomorrow night, I will make sure I keep her with me until she tells me who she is,"
said the prince. The next day, Cinderella again went to the tree by her mother's grave. "Shiver and shake, little tree, gold and silver shower on me." This time, the little bird threw down the most beautiful dress ever made. Cinderella looked very lovely in it. She also wore shoes made of gold. And that night, the prince danced with no one else but Cinderella as he had done the last 2 nights.
"Please tell me your name. I need to know who you are,"
said the prince to Cinderella. But Cinderella could not tell the prince who she was. Then, when it was time for Cinderella to leave, the prince held on to her hand. But Cinderella slipped out and started to run. this night, Cinderella tripped and dropped one of her gold shoes on the stairs. And she did not have time to pick it up because the prince was close by. Cinderella ran all the way home with just one shoe. The prince picked up the gold shoe. It was small and beautiful. And he said,
"The lady whose feet the shoe fits will be my bride."
And so everyone in the village heard about the golden shoe. When the king's men came to Cinderella's home, her stepsisters were ready. When the older stepsister tried on the shoe, it did not fit. Her feet were too long. And when the second stepsister tried on the shoe, it did not fit her either. Her feet were too fat.
"Do you have another daughter?"
asked the king's men.
"No, we don't. Well, I do have one stepdaughter, but you don't have to ask her. She's just like one of our servants,"
said the stepmother.
"We must follow the king's orders, madam,"
said the king's men.
"Please call her."
And so Cinderella was called for. She put her foot into the golden shoe, and it fit beautifully.
"We have found the princess bride,"
cried the king's men happily. And so Cinderella married the prince, and they lived happily ever after.
Tom Thumb. One day a poor farmer and his wife were sitting in their little home. They had a good life together, but there was one thing missing in their lives. They did not have any children, and this made them very sad.
"I wish we could have just one child,"
said the farmer.
Yes, even if it were just a little child, no bigger than my thumb. We would be so happy then,
said his wife. Then, not long after, the farmer's wife had a baby boy.
We will call him Tom Thumb because he is such a little boy,
said the farmer's wife.
"Though he is small, we will love him forever,"
said the farmer. They were very happy indeed. Little Tom Thumb did not grow larger than a finger.
I am so small,
he said,
but I am happy that my mother and father love me so much. They take good care of me. They always give me everything I need. I just wish I could help them in some way.
One day Tom Thumb heard his father say to his mother,
"I wish I had someone to help me. I have to bring the cart into the forest to pick up wood, but there is no one to lead the horse."
I'll help you, dear father,
said little Tom Thumb.
But you're too little to lead a horse,
said his mother.
I will sit near the horse's ear, and I will whisper, "Stop," or "Go,"
said Tom Thumb.
"That sounds like a good idea, son,"
said the farmer.
"Let's try it and see if it works."
The next day the farmer went out into the forest to pick up some wood. He waited for Tom to come with the horse and the cart.
Mother, you must help me by harnessing the horse,
said Tom Thumb. After they had the horse ready to go, Tom Thumb climbed up the horse's neck and sat near the horse's ear. And away they went. The horse listened to Tom Thumb. Tom was a good guide. Not long after, Tom saw his father. Just then 2 men came up and saw the horse and the cart, but no rider. Who was leading the horse? They could not see Tom Thumb because he was so little. Then they saw the farmer take Tom Thumb in his hand and put him on the ground. They were amazed. They had never seen a boy so small. So one man said to the other,
"We are very lucky. We will buy this boy and show him off in the town. People will pay money to see someone so small. We will become rich."
So the men went up to the farmer.
"For how much will you sell this boy?"
One of the men asked the farmer.
"I will do no such thing. He's my son, and I love him,"
said Tom Thumb's father. But Tom Thumb had an idea.
"Don't worry, Father,"
Tom whispered in his ear.
"Sell me and take the money home to Mother. I will find a way to return to you shortly."
So the father agreed to sell Tom Thumb for a gold coin.
"I must ride on the brim of your hat so that I may see everything,"
Tom Thumb told one of the men.
"All right,"
he said. As they got nearer the town, Tom Thumb said to the men,
"You must let me down now. I'm tired of looking at the world from so high up."
The men did what Tom Thumb asked them to do. As soon as Tom was on the ground, he saw a little mouse hole. He quickly ran into the hole.
"Hey, little boy, come back. We bought you, and you belong to us now,"
shouted the men. They tried to get Tom Thumb out of the hole with a stick, but they couldn't. Tom knew that he was safe, and after a while the men went away. They were very angry that they had lost the boy and the gold coin. When it grew dark, Tom came out of the hole. Just as he did so, he heard 2 thieves walking by. One thief said to the other,
How are we going to steal the pastor's gold and silver?
"I can help you,"
yelled Tom Thumb to the thieves. The thieves were very surprised to see a boy so small.
Who are you?
The thieves asked.
"My name is Tom, and I can help you steal the pastor's gold and silver,"
said Tom. When they came to the pastor's house, Tom Thumb squeezed through a small opening in the window. He got himself in the pastor's room.
Get us the gold and silver,
the thieves whispered to Tom.
"What did you say?"
Tom yelled very loudly.
Shh! You're too loud,
the thieves said.
You'll wake everyone up.
"What? I can't hear what you're saying,"
Tom shouted again. This time, the maid who was sleeping upstairs came down with a light.
Quick, let's run away now.
The thieves ran away as fast as they could. The maid looked everywhere, but did not see anyone, so she went back to bed. Tom Thumb quietly slipped out of the house.
"I see a barn ahead. I will rest there tonight and go home early in the morning,"
thought Tom. Inside the barn, Tom Thumb found clean hay, and he lay down to sleep. Tom Thumb woke up hearing the maid say, Here I come, my dear cows. It's time to feed you some hay. Before he knew what was happening, the maid had picked up a bunch of hay with Tom Thumb in it and fed it to the cow. Into the stomach of the cow went Tom Thumb.
That's enough hay!
Tom yelled from inside the cow.
Don't feed me any more hay!
He was getting pushed down with all the hay the cow was eating. But the maid did not know where the voice was coming from. She got scared. She had never seen a talking cow before. The maid quickly ran to the house to tell the pastor that his cow could talk. Of course, the pastor did not believe her, but she was so excited that he went with her to the barn. And when the pastor went up to the cow, he heard a voice say,
Stop feeding me! I'm too full with hay!
The pastor was very surprised. A talking cow! He had never seen anything like it. So he said,
There must be an evil spirit in this cow. We must kill it.
And so they killed the cow and took out the stomach. Just then, a wolf came along and ate the stomach in one bite.
That was good,
said the wolf to himself.
I'm glad you liked it,
said Tom Thumb.
Who's that speaking to me?
Asked the wolf in surprise.
I'll show you a place where you can get even more food better than the cow's stomach,
said Tom to the wolf.
And where is that?
Asked the wolf. And Tom Thumb told the wolf about his parents' house near the forest.
You will find cakes and sausages there. You can eat until you are very fat,
said Tom.
Let's go,
said the wolf. When they got to Tom's house, the wolf ate everything in the kitchen. And the more the wolf ate, the fatter he became. When he was ready to leave, the wolf tried to walk through the door.
I can't get out of the door,
cried the wolf. The wolf had gotten so fat that he could not fit through the door. But this was exactly what Tom wanted to happen. Tom began to shout very loudly for his father and mother, and his parents heard him shouting and came running to help Tom.
Quick, hit the wolf with your stick,
said the farmer's wife to the farmer. And this he did. The wolf died, and Tom Thumb's father got a knife and opened the wolf's stomach. Tom was free.
We're so happy you're safe,
said the mother to little Tom Thumb.
We will never again sell you to anyone,
said Tom's father.
We missed you so much.
And so little Tom Thumb was back at home, where he was loved by his father and mother, and they all lived happily ever after.